Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about your health, your sleep health. In fact, I'm here with Dr. Paul Machowski.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for making time for us. Well, let's start at the beginning. Um, how much sleep should we be getting, and how do we know if it's good sleep?
That's a great question. And sleep is so variable, right? Some people sleep short, some people sleep long. So it's not an easy answer to say, oh, you need 7 hours and that's going to work for you. I think ultimately what you need is good, consistent quality sleep. And when you ask about what actually is quality sleep, then that gets a little bit more in the details because there's like sleep when you're anxious, when you're just in light sleep. That's not good sleep. But what you want is deep and REM sleep. Like you want to be knocked out, you want to be sleeping deep, you want to be dreaming.
Do we have any practical tips that perhaps we could use to, get ourselves in a better position to have healthy sleep, to have good sleep?
Yeah, I think that ultimately we all do a lot of things that are bad for our sleep. And if we just didn't do those as much, probably would sleep better. But in terms of practical tips, what most sleep doctors say is go to sleep at the same time, turn off your phone. Um, sleep in a dark space at a cooler temperature. If you can, do some exercise during the day. Don't eat too late. Don't drink caffeine. That's a big enemy. Alcohol also isn't good for your sleep. So, it's more a lot of don'ts than do's, but having a consistent sleep time and routine will help you a long ways.
In terms of learning how to do better, can we talk about, to your point, there are things that we are absolutely doing wrong. But you mentioned like knocking out caffeine. Is there a certain time that we should, stop doing that? Because many of us think that it's fine to have a cup of coffee with dinner. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, so the reality of it is for most people, the answer is no, unfortunately. So people do have variable tolerances to caffeine. I'm one of those who can have a cup of coffee and seem to fall asleep quite easily. But most of the scientific studies have shown that if you have caffeine too late, meaning like late afternoon dinner time, you might think you're sleeping well, but if you actually hooked yourself up to a sleep tracking machine, you aren't.
Okay. In terms of things that we could do better, are there any natural remedies that might help us? Sometimes we see a supplement here or a vitamin there, and we think, okay, this is going to help. Does it really?
Well, that's a great question. And there's a lot out there. Melatonin's very popular, magnesium's popular, valerian root. There's a lot of sort of natural supplements that are out there. But the vast majority have not been studied that carefully in terms of clinical research. Even for the ones that have like melatonin, the data isn't overwhelming that it helps you that much. So, I would say look very carefully at the background of whether or not this particular supplement has actually been studied, and then just as importantly, whether it's actually made by a reputable company, so you're actually taking what you think you are.
Excellent. Well, then I can't let you get out of here without giving us a website. Is there a place that we could learn more about defined sleep?
Sure, yeah. So my company developed a novel sleep supplement called Define Sleep. It's actually based on CBD, cannabidiol, and these other plant-based molecules called terpenes. And what's unique about this product is its mechanism of action. So unlike the vast majority of sleep aids and sleep medicines that knock you out, they're sedatives. So they knock you out, they're good at putting you to sleep, but they actually aren't very good at helping you sleep better. This product doesn't do that. It doesn't knock you out, but what it does is once you're asleep, it seems to boost how much time you spend in deep and REM sleep. So it helps high quality sleep. Yeah, and years of clinical research went into testing this and trying to develop it.
Oh, well, thank you so much for making time for us here in Atlanta. It was a pleasure to meet you.
It was very much a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for the time.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we can have better sleep. There are some things that we can do. There are tips. Please take the opportunity to visit the website and learn more. And stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.